Hi, welcome to this class. In this class, we're going to learn about numbers and numerals. We're going to learn what is a number or what are numbers. And we're also going to learn what is a numeral or what are numerals. So, numbers. What is a number? Now, this is a question a lot of people will not be able to answer, even though they have been using the word number or numbers at so many places at so many different times. Let's do a little experiment. Ask a few people what is a number, and you will be surprised at how many people do not have an answer to that question. So numbers have a story, and the story of numbers is also part of the story of writing. Now, let's look at the story of numbers. So many years ago, thousands of years ago, or tens of thousands of years ago, or maybe hundreds of thousands of years ago, or maybe even millions of years ago, humans lived on Earth. And in those times, humans didn't have so much knowledge about the environment as we have so much knowledge about the environment today. Now, this is how humans were living their life in those times. They will hunt for animals and kill them for food. And they will also gather fruits, okay, and also eat them for food. Now, little by little, humans started learning about their environment. They started getting more and more knowledge about their environment. And one of the things that they realized is that they needed to know how many things there are, okay? So, the need to know how many things there are brought about something that we now call counting. So what is counting? Let's write that question and then we will answer it. So what is counting? And the answer is counting is the process of knowing how many things there are. So what is counting? And counting is the process of knowing how many things there are. So I want to explain the word process so that those of you who do not understand it will now understand it. So what is a process? A process is how something is done, okay? Now, let's look at an example. You move from your house to your school. It's maybe that you take a car, right, from your house to your school. That is the process by which you move from your house to where? Your school, okay? Another person may walk from their house to their school, and that is the process that they use to move from their house to go to their school. In actual fact, when you look at life, you realize that everything that we are doing in life is actually a process, okay? How we do something is called what? Process. Now, another word for process is also method. M-E-T-H-O-D, method. That is another word for process. The method of moving from your house to your school is by taking a car. The method of moving from the house to a school by another person may be by what? Walking. So, if we come back to what is counting, we can say counting is the way of knowing how many things there are. Or we can also say counting is the method of knowing how many things there are. All right, so now we know what is counting. Now, after we do something, we get a result, right? Everything that we do, we get a result. And when we count, we get a result. The result that we get after counting is called number. So what is a number? Let's write that question and let's give an answer to it. What is a number? And the answer is a number tells us how many things there are. Okay, so what is a number? A number tells us how many things there are. Now, how do we get a number? We get a number by counting. We get a number by counting. And after we have counted, what we get is called what? A number. So now I want to show or demonstrate one way we can count. Okay, I got some markers. This is a marker. Okay, I got them on a table in front of me here, and I am going to count them so that we can see one of the ways that we count. So this is one marker. Okay, this is 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what have I just done? What I've done right now is called counting. I have counted the number of things that I have here. And the things that I'm counting are called what? Markers, okay? And we counted 5 of them. And so the number 5 is telling us that we have how many markers? It is telling us that we have 5 markers. So now humans have found a way of knowing how many things there are by using the process or by using the method of what? Counting. And of course, when they finish counting, what do they get? They get a number. Now, at that time, humans didn't know how to write, or they didn't have a way. Now, at that time, humans didn't have a way to write. So after they have counted and they have got and they have gotten a number, what they do is they keep the number in their mind. We are still on the story of numbers. Now, along the way, as humans were learning about their environment, they also realized that they could also draw things in their environment. Now, let's look at some of the drawings that humans did back in those times. So, now we want to look at some of the things that humans drew during those times, okay? And this is an example of some of the drawings that humans drew, okay, during those times. Okay, so now when we look at this drawing looks like a dog. It also looks like a sheep. It also looks like a goat. Or it can look like any other thing that the humans would have wanted it to, represent in those times. So humans also drew trees. Like this. And humans also drew their own self, or they drew humans, right? Okay, so now we have seen all these drawings that the humans drew during those times. Now human beings started drawing, and the drawings represented the things or stood for the things they saw in their environment. And then they also realized that they could use drawings or symbols to stand for numbers, okay? Now I have mentioned the word symbols. Let's look at the word symbols. What is a symbol? Let's write that question down, and then we will answer it as usual, and we will continue from there. So what is a symbol? And the answer is a symbol is anything or a drawing that is used to stand for another thing. Okay, so what is a symbol? A symbol is anything or a drawing that is used to stand for another thing. So anything that is used to stand for another thing is called a symbol. Now let's look at some examples of symbols. For example, in Ghana, we have the Ghana flag, which is a piece of cloth which contains the colors red, yellow, green, and a black star in the middle of the yellow. And that piece of cloth is a symbol of Ghana. Wherever we see that piece of cloth, we know that that stands for Ghana. And that is a symbol. Symbols are things or drawings that we can use to stand for another thing. And we have gotten to the place where humans have started drawing things in their environment. And they have also gone on to realize that they can use drawings to stand for numbers, okay? Or they can use symbols to stand for numbers. And the using of symbols to stand for numbers has given us what we now call today numerals. So what is a numeral? Let's write that question and then we will give an answer to it. So what is a numeral? And the answer is a numeral is a symbol or a drawing that is used to stand for a number. So what is a numeral? And the answer is a numeral is a symbol or a drawing that is used to stand for a number. Now we know what is a numeral. Let's go back right to the beginning and let's remember ourselves what we have learned so far. We learned about what is counting. And we said counting is the process of knowing how many things there are. And we also got to know what is a number. And we said numbers or a number tells us how many things there are. Then we came to learn what is a numeral. And we said a numeral is a symbol that is used to stand for a number. Or a numeral is a symbol or a drawing that is used to represent a number. We are still on the story of numbers. Now, humans at different places on earth created their own symbols that they used to stand for numbers. Symbols that are used to stand for numbers are called what? Numerals. So let's look at some examples of those numerals. So examples of numerals are, so we have the Babylonian numerals. We have the Chinese numerals. We have the Egyptian numerals. Okay, so the Babylonian numerals. The word Babylon actually means the people who come from Babylon. In this modern time, Babylon is actually Iraq. Okay, the country called Iraq. So the people of Babylon created So the people of Babylon created the Babylonian numerals. The Chinese people also created the Chinese numerals. And the Egyptians also created the Egyptian numerals. So we are still on examples of numerals. The Romans also created their own numerals called the Roman numerals. Now, the Roman numerals, I believe so many of us are familiar with the Roman numerals. And I'm going to mention a few examples of them, okay? All right. So they have I, and what they use I to stand for is that I means one. In the Roman numerals, okay, they created drawings, or they created symbols that they used to stand for numbers. And in their numerals, I means 1. And I means 2. I means 2. I means 3. And then they means 4. And they means 'So in Roman numerals, I means 1, I means 2, I means 3, they means 4, and they means 5. Well, of course, they have so many more of them. Now, the next numeral that we want to look at is the numeral that is used all over the world, mostly today. And that is called the Indian Arabic numerals. And the reason is that the Indians first created it, and then the Arab people took it and they added a few more things to it. And that is why we call them the Indian Arabic numerals. And the Indian Arabic numerals is the numerals that is used mostly all over the world today. So what are the Indian Arabic numerals? They are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So these are the Indian Arabic numerals: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now, these symbols or these numerals are the numerals that we use mostly all over the world today. Now, at this point, there is something important that I want to bring to your attention. Humans also used to count with their fingers, okay? And the Romans, of course, the Romans who created the Roman numerals, they call fingers and the toes of our feet, okay, they call them digitus. Look at that, digitus. And the English adopted the word digitus into the English language, and they changed it to digits. They changed it to digits for singular and digits for plural. Okay? So we have 10 fingers that correspond to the 10 symbols that we use to stand for what? Numbers, or the 10 numerals. And therefore, we also refer to the 10 numerals as digits. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are the numerals. But they are also called digits. So we also refer to these as what? Digits. We also refer to them as digits. So at this point, we want to go back to the beginning, and we will go over all that we have done so far. We learned something called counting, and we learned something called counting. And we said counting is the process of knowing how many things there are. Or counting is the method of knowing how many things there are. Or counting is the way of knowing how many things there are. And we said after we count, we get a result that we call number. So what is a number? And we said a number tells us how many things there are. What is a number? A number tells us how many things there are. Then we also learned what is a symbol. And we said a symbol is anything or a drawing that is used to stand for another thing. Okay? A symbol is anything or a drawing that is used to stand for another thing. And we gave an example of a symbol as the Ghana flag. Then we learned about what is a numeral. And we said a numeral is a symbol that is used to stand for a number. Or a numeral is a drawing that is used to stand for a number. Now, when we look at these two words, number, numeral, there is a relationship between the two of them, okay? A number is just something that we have in our mind of how many things there are. I'm going to say that again. A number is just a perception, okay, of how many things there are. And a numeral is the drawing or the symbol. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. There is a relationship between the word number and then numeral. A number is just a perception, okay, that tells us how many things there are. A number is just a count that tells us how many things there are. And what is a numeral? A numeral is a drawing, okay? We can also say it is a writing that is used to stand for a number. So you realize that when we write a number, for example, this is actually not a number. This is a numeral. But the words number and numeral, they are used in each other's what? Place, okay? Even though a number is a count. We hope that you have learned so much from this class. Yes, we have done absolutely no calculation in this class, but this class contains things that we are all supposed to know as the foundation of our journey of mathematics. And we believe that you have learned all those things that you need for the foundation of your journey of mathematics. We invite you to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, to also click on the bell notification icon so that anytime we upload a video, you will have a notification. Hey, invite your friends, invite your family. Let's learn mathematics together. Thank you.